Hi, I want to share something that happened today in an EFT tapping session. It's a personal experience. I was starting a tapping session for someone else, and in that session came up for this person that she was blocking herself from moving forward on her path. And while tapping on that, she came to the insight that she was not valuing herself enough. When I do EFT tapping, I tap myself with the other person. And while we were tapping, I noticed that this was exactly the stuff that I had been working on and myself this week, because it had come to the surface. So at the end, when her session kind of was finished, we were still with that sentence, I don't value myself enough. And I noticed in my mind that I was changing it into, I value myself fully, because I always like to check how that feels. And what I felt was in my lower tummy under my belly button, it felt like pulling inwards. So I felt that there was still something, because it wasn't my truth and reality yet. So I decided to continue tapping, and the other person tapped with me also. It is always cool when two people who are both spiritual and open for spiritual guidance tap together, because it kind of is more powerful with spirit guides that are helping us. So I continued tapping on that, and then this happened, and I want to share it so that you have an idea what can happen when you work on yourself. So I went back, because I tapped on saying the sentence, I value myself fully, and I felt that it wasn't the truth. So I connected with the blockage. Then suddenly I had the experience that I went back to when I was studying for hypnotherapy. And I had a session back then in a weekend where it was a bit like a family constellation. So someone was being my mom in that session, and I was being me, and I felt powerless. And the teacher had me standing on a chair so that I was like, I don't know, 50 centimeter higher than the person who was representing my mother in the session. And I still felt powerless. Actually, that session and the advice of my teacher had resulted in that I ended the contact with my mother to figure out why the heck I couldn't stay in my own power. I've written about that in my letter to my mother that I recently posted videos about. Anyway, that feeling of powerlessness brought me back to my childhood. And it was the feeling of always being kept small, always getting the blame of something that I didn't do, with one of my sisters, without even like investigating why a situation had come to a result of, for example, becoming a fight or a too heavy discussion. Always being punished of getting the blame for something that I hadn't done. And that gave me the insight that I felt being kept small and not being able to shine my light. So how could I value myself fully when I was always kept small? That brought me to realize that my mom had a need to shine and to receive attention. And because of that, I've made the decision as a child to pull back, keep myself a bit like a gray mouse in the background, not too much inside for everyone. So that kept me small myself. So I kept myself small because of that decision back then. So what I noticed was suddenly I saw a door, and I wanted to go through that door, because when I would walk through that door, I would walk to the life I want for myself and that I'm manifesting so well. And I needed to do something. I was already through the door, but the other person said to me, there's a cord with your mother. So I went back to my mom, back through the door to where I was before. And then I noticed that I suddenly said, because when I do EFT tapping, stuff comes to me like insights and guidance. So I heard myself saying to my mother, listen, you have that need for attention, but that is your need. And it has kept me small because I've chosen that because of your need. So I feel that I need to give you back your own need because it's your responsibility. I'm not going to carry it any longer. So I give you back in love and light your own need, because you are the only one who can solve that, not me. I've carried it long enough. So I've given that back. And I saw that suddenly all her energy became beautiful, bright white light, which made me feel really happy. And then I felt ready to go through that door. And funny enough, the door was first black with a red door frame. And now, after giving back that to my mom, the door frame was white, and the door itself started to change also, became creamy, and then I could go through the door. The cord was cut by Archangel Michael, and that blockage was released. When I walked through the door, I expected to be like beautiful, bright white light. But suddenly it felt like a dark cloud around me. And I was like, what is that? What is that representing? What does it mean? And I got the insight that this blockage was not only from my mom to me, but that it was ancestral from her bloodline from generations back. And I decided I didn't want to have that burden carrying with me either. So I decided to ask the universe to put that blockage in violet flame, transmute it all into divine love and light for me, and to make sure that whatever was still there that had been passed on to my daughter, that would be removed and also taken from her, so that she wouldn't have that burden transmuted, or how do you say that, transformed from me to her. So I released her also from this ancestral blockage. So after that, I felt that when I said I value myself fully, that it felt way better. And I thought a bit further about that. I was like, what didn't I completely, fully value? And it was things like my time, my boundaries, my skills, my light. So now I could believe and feel that it is my truth and reality that I value myself fully. And with that, it is for me logical to also expect and require from others to respect and honor my value. So with that, it felt I made a huge transformation, and I just wanted to share with you how that came to happen, and that you can do EFT tapping yourself also in this way. And of course, if you like to do EFT tapping with me about something you notice in your life that is blocking you, I'm very happy to have a discussion with you about what you're experiencing and ask you more questions about that and give you my feedback of how I can help you. So if you want that, I can offer you my free 45 minutes best health year ever session. So if you're interested in that, please contact me and I will contact you back with scheduling an appointment to book in that phone session, that free session. So I hope you enjoy it, that you know now that you can work on yourself, releasing blockages. And if there's any question and you can't solve your own blockage, then please reach out, because there's always professional help available. You don't need to do this alone. And together we are stronger and we can make it work. I can help you lighten your load, because that is my passion, lighten your load, the same as that I lighten my own load. Okay, thanks for listening, and I hope to hear from you.